Difference, Melbourne lead, but it's been a pretty even contest. Melbourne look in much better form today than they've been in recent weeks. There's Billy Duckworth towards half forward. Izzard with great pace has trapped that beautifully. Good play by Alan Izzard towards half forward. Somerville overruns it. Now here's John Barnes, the youngster. Taps it on to Michael Long. Clever kick around the corner. And that was great play by Long. And he found Antrobus about 45 metres out from goal. Well, that was a very clever little kick, that by Long. Let's see if Antrobus can kick truly. Well, it's a good-looking drop punt straight through the middle.
Yes, and Antrobus kicks his second goal. But unbelievable skills, Michael Long on the wing. Tremendous pace. He'll be one of the quickest players playing the game. And very good delivery when he gets rid of the ball as well. Antrobus kicking there from about 40 metres out. An excellent kick for goal.
So the Bombers back in front. Essendon leading by 3 points. Madden slightly in the middle. But it's helped up the ground by Rode. First back there is Walsh. Always looks awkward, Kevin Walsh, but represented Victoria. He's lost it here. Comes to Spalding. Great hand pass to Campbell. Back to Spalding. Earl Spalding, oh, shocking effort. But luckily onto the chest of Steins for a mark.
He was very fortunate there to get away with that. Peter Cameron telling Anthony Danaher that it was bad luck. But Earl Spalding, good play, good running player. He's very mobile for a player of his size.
So there'll be another change of the lead here. Stein's goal puts Melbourne back in front.
That's Jimmy's first goal. Just a little bit too much overuse of the handball there, Peter, though I think they went one too many. And Earl Spalding, who is usually a very good kick on the left foot. Kevin Walsh, who was well tackled there. Tremendous tackle there by Todd Viney. A hand pass there from Campbell back to Earl Spalding. And very fortunate for Melbourne. Jimmy Stein's playing in front, doing the right thing.
Was that a pass or a shot for goal?
He'll say it's a pass in the showers, that's for sure. But the value of playing in front, when that ball drops short, you've got the chance. The ruckmen eye each other off. 3 points the difference. Melbourne lead. O'Dwyer, that's a great ruck contest. Anderson towards half forward. Plain caught behind. Izzard bumped off the ball by Dersma. Dersma's trying to punch it. And umpire Peter Cameron will bounce at half forward for Essendon. There's Dersma. He seems to have recovered from that elbow knock. Now he's not trying to bounce it there, Peter Cameron, which is interesting. Greg Healy out to centre wing. Neil Danaher has it kicked away from him. Campbell's in after it. Oh, good hand pass to Rode. Rode to half forward. Out comes O'Donnell, runs straight at the ball, then loses it. And in the meantime, there's a free kick to Melbourne for a high tackle. And it looks like Brian Wilson going to take it. He certainly makes sure the umpire sees them.
Yes, and there's a bit of activity behind the play as well. And Antrobus involved again. Pretty fiery customer, Tony Antrobus.
Gee, Greg Healy's had an outstanding game. He had 10 possessions in the first quarter. That's now number 12. High to full forward. Steins almost. Campbell a snap. Across the face of goal and out of bounds for a throw-in. Greg Healy, 10 kicks, 2 hand passes and 2 marks.
He's in great form in recent weeks, Drew. It's in that forward pocket for the Demons. Tapped down. Billy Duckworth to O'Donnell. Tapped on by O'Donnell to Antrobus, who's running back into trouble. But oh, his great pace gets him out of trouble. Terrific play by Tony Antrobus. He kicks to Michael Long. It's just too high for him. Dean Bailey's there to lend a hand. Bailey to half forward. Dersma against Barnes. Kicked away by Denny Hughes off the ground. Bailey again leads in the race. A clever tap to Plain. Plain onto Somerville. Beautiful backing up by the Bombers. This is Darren Williams coming through centre. Kicks wide. Dean Wallace. Hunched away by White. Right out wide to Stretch. Stretch against Anderson. Oh, nearly cleverly done by Anderson. Gritter takes the ball, then brings it back into play, and the only man there was Wallace.
Terry Danaher takes it from him. Oh, the hand pass put a teammate under the hammer. Down he goes. It's picked up by Wallace. Wallace, a beautiful pass to Plain. Bradley Plain, his first kick for the match, is marked by Barnes.
I wonder if that was a pass, Bernie.
I doubt it, Pete. I doubt it very much, but it doesn't matter. The result will be just as effective.
John Barnes, a late inclusion for Paul van der Haar, playing just his second senior game, or his first senior game this year, and his 9th in his career. No distance, tough angle. Oh, he's hit the post.
Well, I didn't think it was that tough, Drew, really. Barnes just went back and really tried to blaze away at that one. There's a mark, and the angle, really, Peter, he should have made the most of that.
Yes, tried to kick it too hard. As a matter of fact, there's O'Dwyer trying to punch it down the ground. A hurried kick comes from Road up to Grinter. Grinter to half forward. Oh, Darren Williams, beautiful football, and the tackle too high. It'll be a free kick to Williams. Off he goes, playing well. Gone wide to Duckworth. Duckworth a long kick. Oh, and a little fancy balk too by Billy Duckworth. 2 bounces. Runs to 50 metres, a long floater. Somerville's the flyer. Barnes tries to trap it at the back of the pack, but can't do so, and the ball eludes him and goes over the line deep in that forward pocket. The difference is 2 points in favour of Melbourne.
Madden and O'Dwyer. Ruck infringement by Madden. Or Somerville it was. Goes to O'Dwyer. Other side of the ground to Grinter. He'll be met by Anderson. Breaks the tackle. Gets the hand pass away from 2 knees. Stretch. Love it. Johnson. Alan Johnson. Beautiful kick of the football. To centre half forward Campbell. Wilson it was. Spoiled by O'Donnell. Great pick up by Neil Danaher. Isn't it fantastic to see him back? And look at the delivery to Buick. And Buick just waltzes around the man on the mark. Buick's kick to half forward. In front is White. Can't take the mark. Wallace with him. But well played by Sean White to find Road.
Good play by the Demons. This is Peter Road. They're in for a great game today. There are 2 very even sides. There's Duckworth appealing for the free kick, and he taps it on cleverly. Is that a free kick? No. Umpire Chris Mitchell says that was a fair contest. He'll come in and bounce it. Halfway between centre and half forward for Melbourne.
Terry Danaher off the ground, replaced by Craig O'Brien.
Well, he hasn't been in it all that much. Terry Danaher, there's a free kick going which way? It'll go Essendon's against Steve O'Dwyer. He's not happy with it, and it's going to Simon Madden. Madden almost at centre half back, goes wide looking for Long.
Great pace, Michael Long. Right footer, what a kick. Buick at half forward. And Long's gone on for the pass back, and he's going to get it. Oh, good football. And this should be a certain goal to the boy from Darwin.
I'll tell you what, he's exciting, Drew. He's only 19. He's going to be better next year.
He's good to watch, isn't he, Peter? An exciting player, that's for sure.
Michael Long goes for a pass rather than the score. And look at Izzard. 10 metres in the clear, 8 metres from goal.
Yes, Alan Johnson's man. And that's something you can't do. You just have to be careful all the time.
Izzard goals.
Of Australia are proud to announce the new Holden Apollo, a whole new range of family sedans and wagons with all new 2-litre twin-cam engines. New Holden Apollo. See them at your Holden dealer now.
Where do millions of jets, helicopters, planes, trains and trucks go when they're low on fuel? The same place you do. BP. BP on the move.
CRC 556. Keep a can on hand.
Sorry. You know how it is. It's a bit wet over there. Bit wet over here too. Let me get some drinks.
No, let me. Waiter, drinks all round.
Well, if we're going to make a party of it, let's nibble Nobby's nuts.
Sorry.
At Fussy Furniture Showrooms, 10% deposit gets you the 100% look, all for no more than you'd pay at any other store, guaranteed. Because the furniture you want is what we're fussiest about.
Well, again, the lead changes. This time the Bombers hit the front in a terrific game. Flintoff nearly had it punched away by his teammate O'Dwyer. Flintoff in after it again. That was great play. Over to Campbell. Campbell long towards Steins. Steins at the back. Wilson there also. Kicked away by Gary O'Donnell. Out towards the pocket and in fact puts it over the line, and he gets the plaudits of his teammate there and Darren Williams.
Going goal for goal in the second quarter. Madden beats Steins. Duckworth to Williams, breaks a tackle and clears the area. Oh, good mark by Izzard. It's one of the best marks for a little man in the competition. Antrobus with a kick not quite straight to him. Bit of a clash of bodies. Essendon come away with it. Long thrown to the ground by Grinter. Long after it again. Oh, brilliant, Michael Long. Grinter nearly buries him. Campbell gets the hand pass to Yates. Good tackle by O'Brien, the youngster. This one comes to Flintoff. There's players down behind play really feeling it at the moment. Anthony Danaher. Wide to Antrobus. Antrobus short to Long. He was one of those players who was counting his bones a while ago. Antrobus a bit of a juggle, but gathers to centre half forward, and the mark is taken by Barnes. He plays on up to the goal square. Any amount of choices. The gap's closed. Johnson out of the back pocket. Just gets the kick away before Wallace buried him. Comes to Stretch.
That was great play by Johnson. They were down and out then. Melbourne. Stretch out to Healy. He's had a great game. Healy looking for Viney. Viney trapped that beautifully. It's only allowed a strong tackle. He's a great tackle of Viney, but this is only allowed Anderson to come away with the ball towards half forward. Somerville up in front, and he is very strong overhead.
He's a very tall player. Peter Somerville, 198 centimetres tall. And when a player leads like that.
Well, running into a space there at half forward is Antrobus. He's already kicked two, and he's playing well. Played well against the Swans last Friday night in Sydney. Very dangerous round the goals, Tony Antrobus. The Bombers lead by 4 points, a chance to make it 10. He kicked a goal here not long ago. Kicked it out to the right and swung it back. He's done it again, I think. Beautiful looking kick, and it's through.
Yes, Antrobus 3 goals, 2 in this second quarter, and the skill level being displayed by both these sides is quite amazing because of the amount of pressure that's being applied. It's been a game worthy of a final, of a elimination or qualifying final. Antrobus there kicking very accurately, truly for goal. He's been a very busy player for Essendon, and they're finishing off very well.
Prior to last week, Antrobus had played 9 games for 10 goals, but he's kicked 3 last week and 3 before half-time today. Uncontested, Steins, helped up by Campbell, helped on by O'Dwyer. Nobody's had a possession, and they've worked at the full forward, off the ground Viney, and through for a behind. A most unusual move forward to goal.
There's John Northey, and well, he'd be a little bit worried because Melbourne had a lot of the play in the first quarter, and they now trail. Izzard at half back. A very good little men, Essendon, with Buick, Izzard, Antrobus, Williams. Oh, good mark.
Looks like Spalding's been moved to centre half back, Peter.
Well, Spalding is a very good overhead mark. Towards half forward he goes. And that's a good mark there also, as Steve O'Dwyer in the middle of that pack taking that one.
Yes, Danny Hughes has been switched to centre half forward.
Oh, good thinking. Now O'Dwyer, the leader's on a beautiful pass. And he's found Tony Campbell. Good lead, good pass.
Yes, well out in front of Neil Danaher. Good thinking there. Good lead by Campbell and a great pass by O'Dwyer.
Tony Campbell, a much maligned player here at Melbourne. Seems to get a lot of rubbishing by the supporters, but can play very good football at times. There's the chance for his first goal, and it's right through.
This is one of the best games we've seen for the season, I'd say, up to this stage. The tackling, the chasing, the desperation that has been shown by both sides, and along with the skill level, especially the likes of Michael Long on the wing, Antrobus kicking for goal, and now Campbell, excellent kick for goal from about 45 metres out.
Steins wins another tap in the middle, but can't clear it. O'Brien's hand pass up in the air. It's tapped out to Long, who streams out towards the wing. Isn't he an exciting mover, Michael Long? Up to Plain. Plain draws a man. Over the top he goes. Barnes running out of room. Antrobus, he's got 3 already. Hurried snap. Now he's got 3-1.
David Flintoff off the ground, and Luke Beveridge on. Alan Johnson with the right knee heavily strapped.
Must be injured, Flintoff. He's had 9 possessions. That's not bad.
Yes, I thought he played pretty well, particularly in that first quarter. There's Johnson going wide. He's looking out there for Peter Rode. Now, he was appealing for the free kick. Rode looked at the umpire, and in the meantime was pinged for holding the ball.
Yes, he held it too long. He was looking for the hand pass to get it away. Should have just blazed away with the hand pass, got rid of it once. Duckworth had applied the tackle.
You see him...
well, I don't know what he was looking for, Peter, because there's no free kick going his way.
I think it was just before that, but there's the pass to Wallace. And a good lead by Dean Wallace, and he is marked about 45 metres out from goal. So already kicked 1 after an excellent lead in the first quarter. Wallace, only a youngster. I know Kevin Sheedy has a very high opinion of this player. The Bombers lead by 4 points. Again, a chance to make it 10 from 45 metres. He's hooked it and has missed. So the margin now is 5 points in favour of Essendon.
Michael Roberts.
David Flintoff, they're working on his left calf. He's either got cramp or he's just received a knock.
Kick in, Steins can't mark. Madden punches up the ground, but the whistle's gone just as O'Brien was dashing away with it. And it's to be a free kick to Jim Steins. Half-back flank. Over the wing. Campbell and Walsh went for it. Comes off to Izzard. Izzard, a long kick just short of full forward. Clears White. Plain, what a clever tap. Barnes a goal.
Yeah, the house across the road. 150,000 it went for.
What? That dumb? How much?
150.
What's that make us worth?
Enough to start looking for a bigger place.
Why? We've got all the room we need here.
And a very nice room it is too, Graham.
If you have already proved yourself with your first home loan, talk to State Bank about your second.
I couldn't stand it again. Appointments with the bank manager, applications in triplicate. They just don't like parting with their money.
They're not the only ones.
At State Bank, we won't send you to the end of the queue. Anyone who's already done what you've done deserves better.
Okay. First we'll find a house, then we'll talk to the bank.
State Bank Victoria. We never forget. It's your money.
Let's get this straight. From September 3rd, only one airline can fly you all the way from Melbourne to London on a brand new Boeing 747-400. So if you want the best flight to London, make sure you're on the plane that turns up. British Airways, the world's favourite airline.
Ready to go?
Problems like this call for an original solution. Now, this bloke's got common sense. You can tell by his strides and shirt. The original Australian King G drill, made for people who don't mess around. Good fit and down to earth. They don't try to look good, so they do. The original King G drill, made for people who don't mess around.
He knew she was the most desirable woman he had ever met. He knew she shared her favors with powerful men. But he didn't know one of them was the head of the Pentagon, his boss. Jealousy led to murder. Murder led to a cover-up. A plot so bizarre, so secret, that the first thing to die was the truth. Kevin Costner, his best role since The Untouchables. With Gene Hackman in your Sunday movie, No Way Out on 7.
So at half-time, the Bombers had opened up a 9-point break, but there was still really nothing in it. Essendon 9-4-58, Melbourne 7-7-49. We'll go back to the action now early in the third quarter, and our commentators at the MCG, Drew Morfitt, Peter McKenna and Ian Robertson, and there'll be no addition to the score.
Excellent first half of football. O'Dwyer gets it straight down to Stephen Clark, though, for Essendon, and a good mark running with the flight of the ball has been taken by Sean White. Now off he goes. The hand pass to Spalding. Now playing at centre half back. Spalding wide. A one-on-one contest. Long at the back. Now let's see if Flintoff can get up and pick it up. Long is caught now. How will the umpire see it? Play on. The short pass is on towards the pocket. This is Barnes. Hand pass to Long. Long tries to chip it in front of goal. He's looking for Madden and he's found him. And he never wastes the ball at any time, that Michael Long.
Oh, he's a very classy player, isn't he? He's excellent usage of the ball. Got great skills. One of the fastest players you're likely to see playing league football. And set it up perfectly for Simon Madden to run in and take that mark.
Well, a lot of players would have blazed away a goal then, Bernie.
Yes, he's a very thinking player. Uses the head. And it's good to see for a young player playing his first season.
Simon Madden for his first goal from 25 metres. Shouldn't miss from there. It'll make it difficult for Melbourne. And he pops it straight through.
Yes, I get the feeling that Melbourne are just relying on too few to do too much at the moment. Their forward line is virtually non-existent. Brian Wilson, of course, kicking the 3 goals in that first quarter. They've got Campbell playing at full forward. Jimmy Steins playing at centre half forward. And Stretch has been moved to the half forward flank off the wing. A lot of players just haven't been featuring in this game.
It doesn't look like we'll see Danny Hughes back. O'Dwyer with a big charge at this knock. Gets rid of Antrobus. And Antrobus will get the free kick. Now, there's a bit going on between O'Dwyer and Antrobus. And there's a 50-metre penalty now.
Well, that was just stupid by O'Dwyer.
Yes, well, that started out here on the members' wing, where they had something to say to each other, but there's nothing to be gained by doing that. Giving Antrobus, who's kicked very well for goals so far, he's kicked 3 goals, and gives him a very good chance at his 4th.
Tony Antrobus, right in front, 40 metres out, hoisted high, gets the distance for a goal.
And that's going to make it very tough for Melbourne now. They just haven't got the firepower that Essendon possess. A lot of their key players just have not featured in the game. Wilson now playing on the ball has been moved out of the forward line. Ricky Jackson started off okay. But there's the 50-metre penalty that has caused that goal to Essendon, because Steve O'Dwyer, a foolish infringement which brought Antrobus to within about 40 metres of the goal, and he made no mistake.
I've got no doubt if they had fit men on the bench that Steve O'Dwyer would be spending a little bit of time on the bench. There's Neil Danaher down towards half forward. Plain, or they're firing now, Essendon. Bradley Plain's got it again. He's trying to get around on to give in a hand pass on the left. Madden taps it over the top, but it's a free kick to Melbourne.
Yeah, free kick against Antrobus.
Against who, Bernie?
Antrobus for a push in the back.
Beveridge to centre wing. Spalding. Good mark. Oh, too slow to get rid of it. Now he does. Yates. Graham Yates hooking it back towards half forward. They need someone to really start firing up forward. Here's Steins. A quick kick towards half forward. Tony Campbell on the left. Sets it up for O'Dwyer in front. Down the ground is Wilson. And Wilson dives on top of it. Umpire Chris Mitchell will come in and bounce.
Steve O'Dwyer looking for a free kick from the umpire. Chance here for the Demons. They need a goal out of this. They trail by 21 points. O'Dwyer taps. Taken by Anthony Danaher. Long. Had to get rid of it in a hurry. Lost control of it. Campbell a quick hand pass out. But Viney couldn't control the ball. It's socked away towards the boundary line to safety for the Bombers. This has been a scrappy start to this third quarter.
Viney's been a very quiet player today. He's had an attack of the fumbles on most occasions. He's gone for it.
21 points the Bombers lead by. Here's a clever play, Wilson, as he kicks at goal and misses. What a beautiful ball. He's kicked 3, Brian Wilson. A brilliant first quarter. There's John Northey. He'll be a worried man at the moment because they trail by 20 points, Melbourne, and they're not playing well in this quarter, as we see Clark receiving the short kick in from Danaher.
Oh, got too much toe for them. Stephen Clark just burned them off. Up towards half forward. Anderson in front. White goes the spoil. Oh, well played by White. Outside of his boot. Brilliant. To Stretch. Oh, he's too slow, Stephen Stretch. Caught by Clark. The ball finishes up out. Why that wasn't a free kick for the tackle, I'm not really sure. We'll have a throw in.
Yeah, he's had a bad day, Stephen Stretch. Beaten badly by Anderson early in the match.
Steins against Somerville. Somerville tapped that down well to Williams. A quick kick comes towards half forward. Spalding doing well at half back now. Hooks it back. Viney against Bailey. Bailey with strength. Viney gets front position. Caught. Gets in a quick hand pass, but Michael Long's there to mop up. And he is a brilliant player. He's found another youngster in Craig O'Brien. O'Brien brings it around towards the half forward line. Madden tried to tap it on. Here's Steins. Was grabbed by Izzard. Izzard in after it. Too much pace for big Jimmy Steins. Steins looking at the umpire for a free kick, but you've got to play the whistle. Here's Brett Lovett. Caught. Quick hand pass. Johnson. Johnson was held. Play on calls Peter Cameron. Greg Healy dives on top of it. Here's Izzard. Some strong tackling. Well done by Barnes, but it comes to Connolly. Connolly a quick kick to centre wing.
Knocked away by O'Donnell towards the centre circle. Jackson roves it. Throws it out in front. He's caught holding the ball. Advantage played. Away goes Neil Danaher. Will he get a goal? It's a beautiful kick. Neil Danaher, welcome back.
You're looking sharp, you're looking good, you've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Father to son, it's what we've always done.
Gillette Contour Plus with lubricating strip for the best a man can get.
What has an enormous screen, a digitally enhanced picture with natural color, and a surround sound system featuring 6 powerful speakers. It's the Philips Super Screen with teletext. It makes watching TV a giant experience.
Buy a new or quality used car from your Mitsubishi dealer now, and you'll go into the draw for $10,000 in gold bullion. Everything you touched could turn to gold. Plus, you'll get golden savings on Magna sedan from just $16,990, or a golden factory bonus on Triton or Pajero EXE 4-wheel drive. The $10,000 gold bullion bonanza and golden deals at your participating Mitsubishi dealer now.
The Sunday Sun Plus.
Is the VFL scrambling for dollars instead of fighting for supporters? Scott Palmer thinks so. We talked to Alice Wills, who's fighting back.
Plus, the woman who helped fight Alan Bond's takeover plans demand fair play for small investors.
Plus, a star guide for your dad. Learn more about your father's star sign.
Plus, Share Heights blockbuster book, Good Guys, Bad Guys and Other Lovers.
The Sunday Sun.
It's everything you love about the Sun Plus.
The spirit that belongs in all men. The love that's in the heart of every woman. The event that marks a new age in television. Lonesome Dove, Monday.
Last week, Jazz's bubble burst against the Eagles at Subiaco. Now the Blues travel to Carrara to take on the informed Brisbane Bears. 2 o'clock Sunday.
Here's the Tats 2 results, just drawn under government supervision.
And so at three-quarter time, Essendon led 13-9, 87. Melbourne 9-10, 64. So the margin had crept out to 23 points. With just under 9 minutes to go, that margin had increased further by another 2 points. Essendon leading by 25.
He's done all right. 12 kicks, 1 hand pass, 7 marks as well. Edge of the goal square. Grinter out of defence. Melbourne have kicked the last 2 goals. They get the next 2, it'll be pretty interesting. Viney, Spalding dodges past a man. Wide open forward line for Melbourne. Dersma, 1 out here with Neil Danaher. Danaher beats him and goes wide towards the boundary line. Out on the full.
Did you get the feeling Essendon has relaxed a little bit, Bernie?
Yes, it appears that way at the moment, doesn't it, Peter?
Well, this is Spalding, who's been, well, I've sung his praises today, has not given up trying all day. Here's a chance for Melbourne again. Can they get a goal here? Into the open goal goes Viney. It's another one.
That's Viney's first goal, and Melbourne have kicked the last 3. And just over 7 minutes remaining in this game. It's going to be tough for Melbourne to get back into it, but the way they're going, Essendon relaxing a little bit, maybe thinking the game was all over. A dangerous thing to do, especially Melbourne in a desperate situation too, coming into the finals. Todd Viney's had a very quiet day, chipping in with that goal.
Well, if Melbourne can get up here, it'll be the greatest boil-over of all time. Clean possession, Steins, and they have been getting the ball out of the middle this last quarter. Neil Danaher taps away to Bailey, to Izard. Izard, a little kick. Well done by Anderson. But Steins gathers for Melbourne. His kick to centre half forward. Anthony Danaher there. Can't take the mark. Front of the pack. Wilson. Dersma. Dersma goes to ground, loses it. Bailey. Terry Danaher in front for Essendon. He taps back. Loses 25 metres, actually. Run on for the ball. Campbell, but off the shins of Williams, and Williams keeps it out in front of him. Trouble for O'Brien. He was caught high, and O'Brien will take the free kick against Healy.
Well, all of a sudden, some of the Melbourne players have sensed they're a chance in this game. They've really lifted towards half forward. It was Summerall trying to trap it on Steins. Further afield to Flintoff. Flintoff around the boundary line, but waiting over the back for the Bombers is Dean Wallace to take a well-judged mark. He kicks to the centre of the ground to Izard. And all of a sudden there's a bit of urgency in both sides. The attention was O'Donnell, that pass. Oh, over the top to Anderson. No, he elects to. Now he does go over the top to Anderson. Grinter comes at him and he's caught him. Puts the ball on the ground. Grinter in hard after Anderson. How will the umpire see this? He'll see it as a bounce. Time running out for Melbourne. 5 minutes and 47 seconds of play left in this match.
Melbourne led by 3 points at quarter time, and then the Bombers got going. They led by 9 at half time and 23 points at three-quarter time. So actually Melbourne have outscored them in this last quarter. 5.5 minutes left, and another ball up. Chris Connolly's another player who missed a lot of football, a couple of seasons. Clark caught red hot by Connolly, holding the ball.
Great tackle that by Chris Connolly, and they haven't done enough of that today, Melbourne. The strong tackling has been mainly by the Essendon side. There's Dersma, who's obviously not fit, but he's taken a good mark. Over to Healy. Healy to Spalding. Spalding runs onto the left foot and tries to hook it back for O'Dwyer in front of goal. It's punched away. Here's a chance for Melbourne. Flintoff, an open goal, taps it through.
Well, this is much better by Melbourne. They've saved their best football towards the end of the last game. Towards the end of the last quarter, Essendon really taking their foot off the pedal at the moment. And Melbourne completely playing all over the top of them. So they're playing in the forward line. Flintoff kicks a very easy goal for Melbourne. And Essendon have just relaxed the pressure completely.
Well, I remember the quarter had gone 14 minutes before Melbourne even scored, and it was how far Essendon. But the D's have scored the last 4 goals. And now the margin 13 points. 2 goals won can level the scores for Melbourne. And Essendon certainly have come to a standstill. Remarkable game, really. Connolly and Melbourne just getting it out of the middle consistently now. Spalding. Melbourne keep it going forward. Chopped off by Walsh, though, who finds O'Donnell. O'Donnell to centre wing. On his own is O'Brien. He's done very well in his second game of league football. Into Buick. Buick straight up the centre. Barnes is there. Up early and marks. Well, a goal here would steady the tide and I think put the game out of reach for the Demons. Under 4 minutes left. And Barnes, he's a youngster, but he's experienced enough to pull up his socks, pull them down, pull them up again. From 45 metres, hasn't scored anything. Campbell out of defence.
Tony Campbell, well, he had a good look to see who he would give it to, and he's found Dersma. Jamie Dersma at half-back. Time ticking away. Just over 3 minutes of play left as it's thumped away by O'Donnell. Out wide towards the boundary line. Izzard tries to keep it in play. He does, in fact, to Buick. Buick over the top to Plain. Plain's overrun it. Love it. Has tried hard. Over to Wilson, who after the first quarter has been pretty quiet. Punched away, back towards Healy. Oh, good play by Healy. Now he's trying to get it out. Kicked off the ground. And what did the umpire say holding the ball in?
Well,
he was trying to punch it out.
The umpire didn't think so.
Well, he was indicating that he was trying to punch it out, but I don't know where he was making a fair dinkum effort to get rid of that one, Peter.
Izzard takes the free. Madden can't take this mark. Anthony Danaher. Back he goes to O'Donnell. O'Donnell's pass is good. Oh, no, Somerville didn't go at that one too hard. Here comes Barnes. Now a hand pass to Bailey, who fumbles. Off the ground by Bailey. Connolly. Oh, he might have been legged there. Road, and a free kick to Connolly.
Just over 2 minutes of play left now. Chris Connolly, as Drew said earlier, one of the Melbourne players that has missed a lot of football over the years. Here's Billy Duckworth. Over to Danaher. Over to his brother. It was Terry Danaher to Anthony Danaher. Now, long kick by Danaher. Chance for Essendon for a mark. Darren Buick. And he was about to play on. Now he does. And pops it through for a goal.
Yes, Darren Buick putting the match beyond doubt. Essendon winning 16-12, 108. Their major scorers, Antrobus 4 and Madden 3. Melbourne 13-11, 89. Wilson 4. Healy and Jackson each contributed 2. So a good hit out for the Bombers. And Melbourne now will regroup and get ready for the all-important elimination final at VFL Park next week against Collingwood, who today were out at Victoria Park playing host to the West Coast Eagles. Collingwood were without a couple of key players, namely Hawke and Dacos. They also lost Athos Harusalakis just prior to the game, and Heath Shepherd was his replacement. The West Coast Eagles, well, they'd been rolling along very nicely in recent times. Prior to today, had won 4 out of their last 5, but were without key players Langdon, McKenna and also McNish. Let's have a look at now at some of the highlights of the first half. Another decent day today just to make sure of his place in that finals lineup. Robertson again. Here's another one who'd dearly love to do well. Robertson's kick towards goal is a beauty. There's a fine start for Collingwood.
So Lamb a chance from 45 metres. Dwayne Lamb usually kicks the ball pretty well. This time he does. He hooks it a little bit into the pockets, and Eagles mark. Holmes. Well done, Don Holmes. Let's see if he can convert. Very definite kick. It looks pretty good from the boot. It's a goal.
In trouble, surrounded by Magpies. Brown does well to get out. Very well. Out to Monkhurst. He kicks it high and wide. It's going to sit for Taylor.
Still value, I'd say, BT.
My word. 30 metres out. Floats a drop punt through the middle, and BT is back in town.
Who's been picked up, as we've said, by Worsfold. A high leap by Lewis. Gather by Brown. A kick across his body towards centre-half forward. And Starcevic.
Well done, David Cloak.
Floating through the air, Craig. Starcevic takes the mark. Distance, not too many problems, I wouldn't think. Accuracy of his major concern. Drop punt kick. Pretty good. Goal. Cormac's kick into the half-forward area. The mark taken by Holmes. Holmes looking to play on. Kicks towards centre-half forward. Looks as though he's picked Tony Shaw out. No, he hasn't. He's picked out the big forward, Sumic, and he takes the mark at centre-half forward. Kicks a goal. It's only 13 points the difference. Magnificent drop punt. A goal. So they're a chance now to draw level. The ball in their half-forward area. Big punch by Shane Morwood. Bremen falls over at a critical stage. Monkhurst's kick. Robertson fumble. Krasiska bounces off and gets his right foot to the ball. Up towards half-forward. A punch by Rance. Attempted kick off the ground by Miles. Pick up by Mullane up towards the 50-metre area. Kick into the forward pocket. Might even bounce through. Taylor will kick it off the ground. Goal.
Almost thrown out, but play will be allowed to go on. David Hart is on his own on that outer side. Hart can send the Eagles deep into attack. He's looking for Scott. With him is Christian. Scott will be the first to recover. Can he get onto the left foot? No, he'll go into Holmes. He'll run into the open goal.
Robertson again. Mullane. The desperate Mullane. Malaxos equally as desperate. Mullane leaves it behind for Mainwaring. Mainwaring short chip pass to the advantage of Turley, and Turley swoops on the football at half forward. He transfers play to centre half forward. No mark taken. Now a chance again for Sumic. The left foot kick by Sumic is magnificent. Peter Sumic has kicked goal number 2.
Yes, a great goal by Peter Sumic to close the gap. Just 2 points in it at half-time. Collingwood leading 6-7 to 6-5. But, by gee, it was like a state game when Collingwood scored a goal. There was a mighty roar. You could have almost heard a pin drop when the West Coast Eagles scored. Nevertheless, it was close at half-time. Let's now go to the action early in the third quarter, and there had been no addition to the score. Here's the throw-in. O'Connell. Cormac. Nice hand pass to Hart. Further on to Lamb. He's a left footer. He'll try and pull it back. He does so nicely, and the mark is taken in that forward zone, only 15 metres out from goal.
Does a lot of his good work around the boundary line, David O'Connell. I thought that David Hart on that occasion could have kicked the ball into goal, but tried to set it up and bring it into the forward line on a platter. Dwayne Lamb, not a good kick, and he really did put him under a lot of pressure.
Jackson kicked 4 against Carlton. He's looking for his first today, and he's got it.
Well, he's one of those bright spots for the West Coast Eagles, along with Peter Sumic. His debut was up in Brisbane against the Brisbane Bears, and what a day he had that day. It was about 6 odd goals he kicked. From 15 or 16 goals this year, he's kicked 35 games. He's kicked 35 goals, so that's not bad effort. That was his first goal for today after kicking, as Sandy said, 4 goals last week.
Mainwaring gets it out on to Turley. Now Lewis, a hurried kick to half forward. A positive start by the West Coast Eagles. Holmes gives it to Malaxos. Malaxos shoots a goal and pops through another one.
That's something you do at training, isn't it? The way they got that one. Out in front was Holmes, and coming past was Malaxos. That's the only things you dream of. Now watch this, the build up here. Now Holmes will come out quickly. There's Lewis getting it down, and there was no pressure at all. Although they were trying to put pressure on Collingwood, the West Coast did it very, very easily. Well done.
So suddenly, the West Coast Eagles kick away to a 10-point lead. Scott back in the middle with Monkhorst. Shaw recovers. Kicks towards Krasiska and Miles. Krasiska wins out. On to Starcevic. Tripped. And is able to get up and still get his kick. It's high. Malesso and Taylor. Oh, Taylor almost. He got to the front spot, but was unable to hold it. Worsfold at the bottom of the pack is ripped off, and he'll be Heath Shepherd on to Taylor, and there is number 4 for Brian Taylor.
Well, it's good to see Heath Shepherd improving a bit too, because early on he had a bit of a disagreement with Taylor in his first or second game of football. He thought he could do it all, but he is now becoming a little more team orientated. When he first came on, he went a little overboard, I thought, with the handball. But that was a good handball then, conscious of Taylor about him. That really did make sure of the goal. Well done.
You wouldn't want to have been sitting in the front seat just over the fence then, would you? Your hands would have to have been pretty good as Taylor popped that one through. The back in the centre. The Magpies are back in front. No, Eagles lead by 4 points rather. Now Scott. Brown kicks the Collingwood side into attack. Oh, great gather by Mullane. Magnificent stuff. Robertson into goal. And Robertson kicks a goal.
Thought any more about the new car?
Nah. No, I think I'll hold out for a Rolls Royce. Have a look at the price of this.
David, what have I been telling you?
Yeah, true.
Well?
Well, what?
The car.
Well, it's got to be big enough.
And safe, and reliable, and economical, I know. We're talking about the new Holden Apollo, right?
Even these are big bickies now.
David?
Yeah, well, I did go and look at it. 2 litre, twin cam, heaps of room.
And it's a Holden. Dave, you know you'd love a Holden.
Yeah, it's right on the money.
Now, if you get the Sun, you could win the house. The Sun A.V. Jennings $150,000 Dream Home giveaway is on again. Win a block of land with your choice from Jennings' 7 top designs, all with heaps of family features and valued at $150,000. To enter, just cut out 6 Sun front page mastheads dated between now and September 9 and send them to the Sun with your name and address. Enter as often as you like. The Sun A.V. Jennings $150,000 Dream Home giveaway is on now. So get the Sun and win the house.
I don't smoke. It's the only way to stay ahead of the game.
Winners are winners. Quitters are ahead. Because when you quit, you're ready and fit to let your body do its best. Let your body do its best.
Don't wait for the grass to grow under your feet. Ryobi are handing out goggles so you can get a head start, and gloves so your garden won't get out of hand. Ryobi. Free goggles and gloves when you buy from a range of Ryobi Garden Care.
No Way Jose says no way to fatty foods, but Dot Scott McCain low cholesterol super fries cooked in polyunsaturated vegetable oil, which proves a No Way Jose is no match for a Dot with a lot. Ah, McCain, you've done it again.
On Only Human, holiday homes on wheels. Are they really death traps? Coping with stress. Some advice should be taken with a grain of salt. Sex for the disabled. The miracle that proved doctors wrong. Getting life back into focus. Good news for those forced to wear glasses. Some sour notes for musicians who suffer for their art. We examine relationships for the over 60s and meet the father of microsurgery. It's all on Only Human, 7:30 tonight on 7.
Back in the centre. Monkhorst and Scott. Monkhorst gets the tap out. Tony Shaw overruns it. Chance by Starcevic, kicks it into the forward pocket. Malesso reading it pretty well. Strong play by Malesso. The kick looking for Scott. Monkhorst, Scott marks. Good play. Monkhurst perhaps should have just gone a little bit harder to punch the ball away then. Scott's kick is a wobbly one to the half-forward area. Good mark by Christian, who judged it a lot better than O'Connell. The Christian, short pass into the centre, and a good mark taken by Gafer in front of Lewis. And Chris Lewis, just looking a little frustrated, gives Kerrison one as Christian kicks Collingwood up towards full forward. Worsfold gets the hand pass off to Rance. Rance's kick is out wide in front of Lamb, and Lamb could nearly have been paid the mark. Play on now. Lamb sweeping hand pass to Malaxos. Back to Lamb as good football by the Eagles. Lamb spotted Cormac, and Cormac has the ball now. He's forced to kick with the left foot. Gathers 45 metres up towards full forward. A chance for the Eagles. Is there anyone at the fall of the ball? No, it's Banks for Collingwood, and Banks gets around Sumich, gets the hand pass off to Hecker. He can't control it, and the small scoreboard in the background indicating Collingwood leading by 2 points. Some pressure stuff there on that outer side of the ground. The Eagles striving to break through that strong Collingwood defence.
Here's the throw in. Not a good one. McEwen gets the hand pass away. Brown always working hard. Look at him, still going. Eventually gets his kick towards the centre wing area. There was a push there. It'll be a free kick to Starcevic. The ball will come back. Here's a terrier, Gavin Brown. Starcevic to half forward. Shepherd waits down. Mullane looked as though he may have got a nudge, but Bremen took the mark, played on to Miles, who kicks wide. Pressure then from Shepherd, causing him to go too wide, out of bounds on the floor.
Sometimes I wonder whether there's any value in players asking for the hand pass when they're going to be under pressure when they receive it.
So Morwood to bring it back into play. Starcevic. Well, he got up to take the kick and the umpire said play on. Clever tap on by Krasiska after it came from Brown. Now Mullane will swing round. He's still going. Onto the left foot goes Darren Mullane, but he's just gone to the left.
I wonder if he does do much work on his left foot, Darren Mullane, because he does go onto it quite a bit, but just doesn't seem to be proficient when he does get the ball.
It looked as though he was trying to run a distance to get onto the right there, didn't he?
Collingwood leads by 3 points. Turner brings it back into play. Rance sets himself and is unopposed. Murray Rance from half back towards centre wing. Christian backing into the pack. Turley sneaks clear of Shaw. Craig Turley going over the top, looking for Holmes at the back. Almost gave away the free kick. Banks gets the hand pass out. Turley again is clear. Shoots in towards goal. It's coming back, but not enough. And one behind goes on the board for the West Coast Eagles. So it's back to 2 points. 8-8. Plays 8-6 with 16 3/4 minutes remaining in this third term.
Ronnie McEwen at full back for Collingwood. Nice looking drop punt kick outside 50 metres. Monkhurst looking to knock it on. Scott's knocked it back to the half forward area. Hecker gathers well. The short kick marked by Turley. Hand pass off. Puts Hart under a little bit of pressure. The short kick is on. It's a little too high. Still the ball in the centre. Good tap out by Tony Shaw. That was a indiscriminate tackle there by Mainwaring. The ball still in the centre. Cormac striving hard there. Look at Robertson with pace. He can't break away. The ball's still in the centre. Now Tony Shaw gets it out. Christian. Oh, he's put his teammate right under pressure. He didn't have it when the tackle was applied by Lamb. So Wright has the free kick. His short pass up forward, and the mark is taken by Brown. Gavin Brown at centre half forward. Short pass to the leading Mullane, a little too high. Shepherd at the back. Can he gather? Yes. Inside the boundary line. He goes for goal. Tries a hook across his body. It's in the opposite forward pocket. And a good mark is taken by Turner. And Taylor very, very disappointed with maybe Heath Shepherd's effort. The hand pass by Turner goes to Hart. Hart goes straight up the centre of the ground. In the centre, no mark. It's punched back to the advantage of Collingwood. Gavin Brown at centre half forward. Brought down by Turley. The ball with Morwood. Now it's with Krasiska. Now Mullane. Mullane onto the right foot. The hook kick. Could go through. It does. Great goal, Mullane.
I just get the feeling now that Collingwood are just handling the ball a little bit too much. Their handball, we saw it in the centre earlier, where they kind of went around in circles, and also on that occasion, although they did get a goal from it, they're not very direct. And here it is, Brown getting ridden into the ground. Now the handball comes across, and they kind of sell themselves into trouble the whole time. It makes it just very, very difficult. It's better to have or give the handball to fellows running past instead of in front or stationary. But nonetheless, it was a goal through Mullane.
9-8 plays 8-6. Monkhorst wins it, looking down for Shaw, but stolen by Kerrison. But the umpire saw that. And Tony Shaw saying, well, perhaps it was just a smidgen of a throw. So the Eagles needing a goal here. Malaxos at the bottom. Gaffer trying desperately, pushed towards half forward. Krasiska pulled off his kick. Scott bundled out. Kerrison through. Shane Kerrison to half forward. Brown and Hart. Rance through without it. Robertson claim. Tried to flick it out. Pushed on by Mullane. Clever play. Wright is there with a chance, but he's beautifully tackled. Now Lamb across half back. Gets a hurried kick wide to the outer side. Maybe just kept in play. In fact, it will sit for Mick Gaffer, who'll go back to Tony Shaw. Onto the left foot. He pumps it towards Starcevic. Getting in front of him was Worsfold. Now a chance for the Eagles. It's Turner taking the hand pass, kicking over the centre towards Cormac. Pushed out of it. Kerrison clear again, or is he? No, but he gets the hand pass away. Well, they're going nowhere fast there. Eventually Tranter kicks towards half forward. Turner. Robertson is quick. He gives him a decent old shove. Play allowed to go on. Brown cops another heavy one. The ball goes over the line. And we will see a throw-in on that outer side. Collingwood in attack and leading 62 to 54. Scott from behind. Starcevic down in front, overruns it. We'll get another shot.
Got the ball, the tackle. Here's a chance now for Dean Turner at half-back for the Eagles. He's kick into the centre, a high kick, a good punch away by Krasiska. He's held when he didn't have it. Play goes on. Hecker. The hand pass goes back to Kerrison. Kerrison's flying shot towards full forward, and a great mark taken by Malesso, who's come up from full back. Hart trying to take advantage, but the umpire will take it back for Malesso to kick from between centre half-back and full-back. Malesso's kick out towards centre wing. 3-on-2 for Collingwood. The ball comes to ground. Good gather by Turley. Round onto the right foot. The kick is looking there for Sumic, and not too kind, that bounce. It kept running away from Peter Sumic over the boundary line. So we'll have a throw in on centre wing. Very near the Collingwood players' race. The Magpies lead by 8 points. Kerrison going to do the ruck work. Tries to take it out of that contest. Play on now. Tranter, who's backed himself and gone all the way from the back pocket. A great kick and a magnificent, spectacular mark to Mullane. He plays on. Kicks it into full forward. Turner runs straight into Tony Shaw. Obvious free kick to the Collingwood captain. Couldn't do much else there, Dean Turner. So Tony Shaw will have a shot from only 30 metres out directly in front. Great player, Tony Shaw. Always having a go for his side. He's had 14 possessions so far. And he kicks a goal for Collingwood.
Every day, BP supplies the fuels and lubricants that start the engines of over 30 million vehicles all over the earth. So you could say that we help get things going around here. BP, on the move.
This Sunday, 50 years to the day, the Sunday Herald brings you a complete replica of the first Sunday Herald, an extraordinary issue that told Victoria we were at war. And the Sunday Herald colour magazine has a superb pictorial tribute to Australia during the war years. There's also sensational Lord Snowdon portraits of the Kirov Ballet and a look at white fashion for spring.
Perfect Sunday. with the Sunday Herald.
Sorry. You know how it is. It's a bit wet over there. Bit wet over here, too. Let me get some drinks.
No, let me. Waiter, drinks all round.
Well, if we're going to make a party of it, let's nibble Nobby's nuts.
Sorry.
At Fussy Furniture Showrooms, 10% deposit gets you the 100% look, all for no more than you'd pay at any other store, guaranteed. Because the furniture you want is what we're fussiest about.
This is Anytown, and this is Jack, Anytown's handyman.
G'day.
Jack and his Nissan Navara have had a busy week. Monday, there was a brush with the law. Tuesday, a constructive engagement. Wednesday, a run on the stock market. Thursday and Friday positively flew by. This weekend, Jack's going fishing with the boys. And that's just another job his Navara has covered. With Nissan's 2-year warranty.
That's my truck.
Tonight on Seven's mystery movie, the greatest crime in England's history is about to be uncovered, clue by clue. Murder by murder, lifting the veil of secrecy, corruption and terror to the very throne of England. Christopher Plummer is Sherlock Holmes. James Mason is Dr. Watson. Sir John Gielgud, Donald Sutherland, and Genevieve Bujold. Murder by decree. Seven's mystery movie, 8:30 tonight.
Back in the centre once again. 68 plays 54. Collingwood through Trando down towards the half-forward line once again. Out in front of Mullane and Worsfold. Worsfold keeping it in play. Tries to pushing it away. Shepherd does solid work. Morland, clever tap on. Mullane, this could be another one. Darren Mullane steadies, shoots, and has goal.
Well, I suppose that could be a match-winning move. Mullane going up into that forward pocket. He was kept quiet earlier by Worsfold. Worsfold still got the job up there, but now he's playing in the forward pocket beside Taylor, and he is providing a lot of mobility. Here it is, Gavin Brown involved. Morwood punches on Mullane. Good goal.
Well, Collingwood's lead now could possibly be the greatest margin for the day. 20 points. After 3 or 4 quick goals, the Eagles, who were 6-5 at half-time, kicked the first 2 goals in the third term. So Collingwood have kicked the last 5. Here they come again through Kerrison. The left foot kick, high towards full forward. Taylor tries to get the ball back to Mullane. He's held. The ball still near Collingwood's full forward area. Morwood has pulled off the ball. Rance looking for the free kick. Umpire will call for a ball up.
Ian, one thing I'm noticing about the umpiring today, they're not penalising. There's a lot of scragging going on just before the players run to the ball, holding in other words. The umpires are not picking them up, and it's happening before their own eyes.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious from here, Don. The ball goes wide to half-back. Crashed to the ground when he didn't have control of that football was Mainwaring, and he'll take the free kick for the Eagles at half-back. Chris Mainwaring, 15th kick, short. Oh, he's put Turner under pressure. Wright goes goalwards from 50 metres, and it's a great goal for Graham Wright. The Magpie crowd come alive.
You couldn't have summed it up better, Ian, because I'd wondered where they'd all gone. It's been so quiet, but oh, aren't they a parochial mob down here at Collingwood? I remember my first game here as a 19-year-old or 18-year-old coming from Blackburn High School. In the reserves, I was frightened because of this mob down here. Having to get into the game early. They're a very parochial, one-eyed mob, Collingwood, and they've certainly come alive, and that was an inspiring goal by Wright.
26 points the margin. Centre-bounce again, taken out by Monkhorst. A hurried kick towards Tony Shaw. Feeds it even wider to accommodate Gaifer, but well tackled. Mainwaring at the bottom of the pack.
And John Worsfold off. Now, you don't see that terribly often. He's taken off Mullane. Barrich has gone back and doing that job. So that's interesting. John Worsfold, a very good player.
Just in Collingwood's attacking zone. Kerrison up. Robertson over the top. Kerrison again. Claimed by Jackson. Out towards Gaifer. Couldn't take it cleanly. Malaxos at the bottom of the pack. Hart tries to run through. Gets a short kick towards the centre. Hecker with strength. Gets a hurried high left foot kick. Shepherd's got to stand his ground. Bremen over the top with a double-fisted spoil. Brown has been in sensational form. Kicks high to half forward. Starcevic a chance, but he slips at the crucial stage. Can't get rid of it. And John Russo comes in and decides to have a bounce. 12-8. Plays 8-6. And a rush of blood by Collingwood sees them sneak away. Jackson couldn't take it. Morwood, 40 metres out, shoots in towards goal and has put through another one for the Magpies, who are on fire.
Well, when I thought the Collingwood side were doing it just a little too easily, they've certainly slipped the gearbox into overdrive, and West Coast are making another change, and Holmes going off. Worsfold coming back onto the half-forward line, and there he is, Morwood, unattended on that occasion, playing on centre wing on Turley. From that hit out, he read it well, got the ball coming out and burst through centre half forward. An easy goal, Shane Morwood. His first for the season.
Well, they've made some changes, Collingwood, and they've paid off. Kerrison has been tremendous around that centre square, centre circle area. And Brown, Hart, Jackson, left foot kick by Jackson, Banks at centre half back, kicks it high, long, Robertson, pace, gets away from Turner. He bounced the ball when he was in possession. No, the other way, says the umpire, so Robertson will take the free kick for Collingwood.
Collingwood 5 goals in 8 minutes, Ian.
Unbelievable stuff. And the crowd, they must be all Collingwood supporters, because when the Eagles kick a goal, you hardly hear a cheer. Barrich unloads Tony Shaw after taking the mark, kicks it wide, or hand passes it wide to Mainwaring, who crashes past. Good play, Mainwaring. But they're getting it up towards that centre, and it comes bouncing back every time. A chance again. Lamb gets the ball out to Jackson this time. Jackson's kick covers 35 to 40 metres. There's no one home except Dennis Banks, who keeps his footing beautifully inside the boundary line. Kicks it towards half forward, and there's the man of the match. No, that's Michael Gaifer. I thought it was Brown for a minute, but he gets the hand pass off to Shaw. Shaw in towards full form. Mullane making it look a little more spectacular. Push in the back. Mullane is hurt too by the look of it.
It's not a knee, is it?
They have hurt his knee, yes.
Let's hope he's all right. Here's the pass. It was a good pass too by Shaw, and on a quick lead, Mullane. Where did he hurt? When Barrich came down on top of him? Or was it when he twisted?
Well, when we saw the replay, we certainly saw why the free kick was given. Barrich.
It is his knee.
Yes, he's holding it
it's a good
very
camera
tightly.
shot too.
Darren Mullane, bad luck for Collingwood, because he would be a key player, wouldn't he, next week?
All
Not
you need
good.
on the eve of the finals. So that possible tragedy for Collingwood, with Darren Mullane obviously in great pain, being carried from the ground. Let's have another look at it, Don. Now, was it...
Well, he gave it a... Could have been there, or he gave it a bit of a jolt.
Yes.
Yeah, when he did come down.
Don, do you get the feeling that Darren Mullane has been playing with a bit of an injury? Because he's hardly this season has he been the scintillating player that he can be.
Well, he's being tagged like today. He was tagged by Worsfold, but he has got away as Morwood goes goalward.
And puts through another one.
You're looking sharp, you're looking good. You've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Where the race is run, you're the champion. Gillette.
Gillette Contour Plus with lubricating strip for the best a man can get.
The best a man can get.
I don't know, Jono. Have a look at this.
The car's got a whole computer system that actually tells you what's wrong with it. And those backyard boys, I think it's just a question of changing a couple of these, I don't know. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you better look at the distributor cap. Could be cracked. It's probably non-genuine too.
Yeah, doing that.
Commodore's all finished. Have a listen to this. Love it.
If you're in business, you want advertising that works. Melbourne Big Survey phones are monitoring results in businesses like Custom Tone Kitchens, whose results were immediate. Over 100 calls in 76 days. Paul Agnew placed ads in 2 classifications and says they've performed well beyond expectations. Over 30 calls a week. Is it any wonder Mike Scott calls the Melbourne Big the blue chip directory? Make sure that Melbourne Big is working for your business. Phone right now on 6464 666.
Get into it. Get into it. Get onto it. Get into it. Be on the ball. Get behind your team and wear the official licensed VFL supporters gear. The complete range is now available at your game. Get into your team colours at the game shop and show your true colours. Look for the game shop marquee at your game and get right into it.
The Sunday Sun Plus.
Is the VFL scrambling for dollars instead of fighting for supporters? Scott Palmer thinks so. We talked to Alice Wills, who's fighting back.
Plus, the woman who helped fight Alan Bond's takeover plans demands fair play for small investors.
Plus, a star guide to your dad. Learn more about your father's star sign.
Plus, Share Heights blockbuster book, Good Guys, Bad Guys and Other Lovers.
The Sunday Sun.
It's everything you love about the Sun Plus.
They posed as merchants, selling a shipment of gold. The victims were shown genuine bars before exchanging them for money. But when the box was later opened, they proved to be worthless. They'd used an old magician's trick and got away with $500,000 in cash. A quiet suburban street shuttered by the bombing of 2 cars. Can you help police track down where the Gelignite came from? You could help catch a criminal. Australia's Most Wanted, Sunday on 7.
Opening up a 38-point lead. And still 7 minutes to go in this third quarter. From the centre, no one able to get it out. So another bounce. Seven goals to Collingwood. 8 goals to Collingwood this quarter. It's been a fine effort so far. Lamb. Right, picked it up beautifully. Pulls it back towards half forward. Looking for Starcevic, couldn't find him. Brown trying to sweep it wide to accommodate Robertson. He's under too much pressure, however. Simon Taylor trying to get into the thick of things, having just come on the ground to replace Darren Mullane. Can't do anything with it. And the bounce on the other side. 92 plays 54. Eagles have managed a couple of goals this term. Brown again. Gee, he's been busy. High to half forward. Turner takes them on. Dean Turner getting the Eagles out of trouble. They want goals and they want them fast. Sumich plays on. Is forced onto the right foot. McEwen is out in front and marked strongly in front of Jackson. McEwen to the outer side. Brown. Oh, lost it in the sun. I think he must have, yes. Very rarely makes a mistake. Hecker gets it back to him. Well, this could be dangerous. McEwen could be claimed. No, he sweeps it wide for Banks. But they're still in the back pocket. They've gone from one side of the ground to the other. Banks now coming more directly, but Turley can't get underneath it in time. At the back is Miles. Jeff Miles electing to go inside. Finds Worsfold. Kicks it high. Poor kick, however. And the mark is taken by Dennis Banks. Banks at centre half back, transfers play to the opposite side of the ground. Monkhurst is out there on his own. He's got plenty of time to steady and boot the ball up forward. Right drops a fairly simple, straightforward mark. Tony Shaw diving on it, out to right again. Right pushed as he kicks, tries to hook it around towards centre half forward. Down goes the young player, Tranter, was it? Now there's an opportunity there for Starcevic. A kick across his body to the front of the square. Taylor can't mark. Miles fumbles. Malesso caught. Turner gets his kick away. It'll go over the boundary line on the full. Free kick to be taken to Collingwood by Robertson.
Do the umpires play to the full forwards? Because that was a direct infringement against Malesso then, and the umpire was right on the spot. Everybody saw that Taylor pushed him out, but wasn't paid against him.
Well, Peter McKenna will argue the point all day long with you, I think, Don, on that one. He thinks full forwards don't get enough. Robertson's beautiful drop punt kick into the goal square. No mark taken. Now a struggle for possession. Starcevic there looking up at the umpire rather anxiously. But umpire John Russo, still firmly in control, will bounce right on the edge of the 10-metre square. Monkhurst takes it out of the air. Kick, Taylor, or goal.
Well, a wonderful display of strength by the young fellow. Then nearly controlled it with the left hand, brought it down, just couldn't get his kick away, dribbled along the ground. And there's Taylor limping again. See, that knee looks as if it locks. But here, watch this. Monkhurst, a good effort. He just couldn't control it. Taylor, under a lot of pressure as he got foot to ball. 5 goals. I'm just looking at Taylor, the way he's limping, but then again, he always limps.
98 plays 54. Centre bounce once again. Mainwaring still trying his heart out. It was Krasiska who originally got it out. Here they go again. Starcevic on to Tranter.
Well, that's a free kick.
Players allowed to go on, and it suits Simon Taylor because, like his namesake, he is getting into the goal-scoring spree.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries' 1989 Premiership season.
Yes, the Magpies sewing it up with a winning third quarter, a 10-goal blast. They finished 20 goals, 9, 129. Brian Taylor coming back into a bit of form with 5, was their main contributor to the West Coast Eagles. A disappointing finish to the season. They finished with 11, 14, 80. And in other matches played today, we'll check them now. Geelong rewriting the record books by scoring 23-24, 162. Richmond disappointing, 12-14, 86. Hawthorn also amassing almost a cricket score, 28-13, 11-goal last quarter, 181. Thrashing St Kilda, 13-13, 91. A disappointing way for the Dock to bow out. And Fitzroy with a 5-goal last quarter, 13-18, 96, eclipsing Footscray, 12-9, 81. So the ladder, after all but one game in the home and away series for season 89, the 5, nothing has changed. Hawthorn, Essendon, Geelong, Melbourne and Collingwood. And then Fitzroy out of the 5 by a game and percentage. And then Sydney down to Richmond, who unfortunately for the Tiger fans this year will take the wooden spoon. We'll take a break here on Saturday Night Replay, but coming up shortly, all the football gossip with Scott Palmer.
Dealers of Australia are proud to announce the new Holden Apollo, a whole new range of family sedans and wagons with all new 2-litre twin-cam engines. New Holden Apollo. See them at your Holden dealer now.
Announcing a dramatic breakthrough in shaving technology. The Remington Microscreen Ultimate shaves as close as the blade, or I'll give you your money back. The Ultimate's exclusive beard lifter gets whiskers other shavers leave behind. And like all Remington Microscreen shavers, the first screen shaves incredibly close, the second even closer. The Remington Microscreen Ultimate shaves as close as the blade, or I'll give you your money back. And the Lady Remington, the perfect gift.
How I remember the days. Oh, the V-Line Day-Away tours to the Shipwreck Coast and the 12 Apostles, all 9 of them. $55 an adult. The day at Sovereign Hill, $30 for grown-ups. Oh. The day away at Mitchelton Winery with the Goulburn River flowing free, as you can see, at $38. What's more, most with a free lunch. Oh. That's V-Line Day Away tours for you. Call into V-Line Travel or phone 619-3333 for a brochure. It's all in the book.
There's something we export to the Orient that they really love.
and it's not a cuddly toy. Something they paid top dollar for, and it's not liquid gold. Something they keep coming back for again and again, and it's not a boomerang. It's rice. Sunlong rice. The only rice Australia exports to the experts.
Who's working to give us water that's pure and safe? Working to ensure we'll have sufficient. Working to give our city one of the most advanced sewerage systems in the world. Working to provide playgrounds and parks and waterways for us all. Your Board of Works is working on this vision, making Melbourne a better place to live. Board of Works bonds, a government-guaranteed investment. See newspapers for details.
This Sunday, 50 years to the day, the Sunday Herald brings you a complete replica of the first Sunday Herald, an extraordinary issue that told Victoria we were at war. And the Sunday Herald colour magazine has a superb pictorial tribute to Australia during the war years. There's also sensational Lord Snowdon portraits of the Kirov Ballet and a look at white fashion for spring.
Perfect Sunday with the Sunday Herald.
Don't forget, Sportsway comes your way on 7 tomorrow morning, 9 through until 12. The football section gets underway at around 11. And joining us on the program will be Harold Baldock to talk about his stint as coach of St Kilda, and also Shane O'Sullivan of the Brisbane Bears to talk of their plight to get more players. And also being decided tomorrow will be the State Bank Player of the Year.
At the end of the 89 home and away season, the player voted the State Bank Player of the Year by our Sports World panel will receive a state banking system account worth $10,000. State Bank Victoria. We never forget it's your money.
And now punching it out at the Sunday Sun is Scott Palmer once again. Good evening, Scotty.
Good evening, Sandy.
Now, Scotty, you're a little ferret. I want to ask you this. At Collingwood today, I noticed a young lady in the West Coast Eagles coaching box. Can you give me more information?
Angie Fry, 30-year-old, merchant banker from Melbourne, formerly of Perth, won an auction prize for $300 to sit with John Todd in the coach's box and make one move, Sandy, one move for the day.
When was that, in the third quarter?
No, in the fourth quarter, and she moved Steve Malaxos off the ground. Women, you can't trust them, I tell you.
You said that. That'd be nasty. Now, on a serious note, North and John Kennedy, what's the situation, Scotty?
Well, John hasn't made up his mind. He said before he decides which way he's going to turn for 1990, he's going to talk to the club, the players, and he won't be pushed into it. He said there's a lot of thinking to do, and he'll just sit down with the club next week and decide. But it looks like Wayne Schimmelbusch is standing in the wings, ready to take over from North, because that's the word today, Sand.
Scotty, Hawthorn and in particular Dermot Brereton have a week's rest, but that could be a blessing for him.
Yes, because he's got a badly sprained left ankle tonight. He hobbled off at the game today. He says he's okay, but the medicos out there say he's 50-50. Dermot put out his chin and said, I'll be all right, no worries about that.
Well, let's continue this injury segment. What about Darren Mullane we saw leave the field?
A little less confident because he badly twisted his knee and he's doubtful for the elimination final next week. Collingwood are hopeful, but Darren said it's a dicky knee and dicky football. He said, you go in one day, he said, I went for a mark, landed wrong, and here I am sort of on the verge of missing the finals. I just hope he can get back.
And completing the injury list, Essendon's Michael Long.
Yes, well, Michael had his foot trodden on today, but Kevin Sheedy hopes he'll be right. Of course, he'll have Timmy Watson back, but there's a long string of injuries at Essendon that might not get back for next week.
Actually, I hope Michael Long is all right. I believe, I've just heard that he is due to play the didgeridoo tonight at Simon Madden's big celebrations for his 321 games.
The didgeridoo.
That's another story, though. Mickey Malthouse, there have been rumours, Scotty, that he could be going west.
Could be going west. He said he's got 2 or 3 options, so I don't know the other jobs he's got in mind, but Mick said he'll be...
Well, has he gone from Footscray?
No, he said it could be... Well, he said, I've got 2 weeks to think about it. A few options are in the wind, and he said, I'm not going to be rushed into it. They're all saying this at the moment. He said, leave me alone. I have to get down to thinking time now, and he'll probably decide in the next couple of weeks what he's going to do. I think he's waiting to see just where Footscray end up, Sandy.
That's all right, Scotty. What about John Todd, then?
John Todd won't quit. He said, no way known will I quit. But the thing is that the West Australian Commission might want a change of the coaching position over there. If the old board was in, there's no way that John Todd would be ousted. But he's just weighing up his position over there with the new board coming in to run football in West Australia.
Geelong were big winners today. Scotty, how is Malcolm Blight telling his players to approach the finals?
Typically, he's just saying, look, it's just another game, these finals. I used to handle them pretty well. Treat it that way. But he says he's very upset at the moment because the Geelong players are all fighting each other over the ball. They're just hungry for it. They're getting in each other's way. He said, I have to straighten that out before next week.
And in closing, Melbourne and John Northey, disappointed today, I guess, but will they come up?
Very disappointed, but he's confident the boys can rise to the occasion. He said we do it regularly. We did it last year and the year before to make the finals. He said desperation and discipline, that's what we needed. Of course, Danny Hughes has got a groin and looks like missing the match. But, okay.
Scotty, our time is up. We love the haircut. Keep punching. That's all for tonight, and we look forward to you joining us once again when our football coverage continues tomorrow. Good night to you all.
Next on 7, Only Human. This has been a 7 Sport presentation for the Australian Television Network.
The 1989 VFL Premiership season was proudly brought to you by the new Holden Apollo. Gillette, the best a man can get. CUB, one of the world's great brewers. BP, on the move. And State Bank, we never forget it's your money.
Recycling is taking junk and giving it new life.
Recycling is a scavenger hunt that engages the mind and the spirit.
God was recycling when he took the dust of the earth and made it into man.
Recycling is making 2 ordinary pieces of wood into a cross and seeing it as a symbol of resurrection.
Recycling is that spark of insight that changes common and familiar things into the new creation.
Bert is the word. The marvellous Bert Newton Show with more fun and fascinating people to meet. Weekdays at noon.
Tonight on Only Human, Mario D'Orazio reports on sex and the disabled. And Seymour joins the Melbourne Symphony and discovers a few sour notes. In Sydney, Steve Taylor splits hairs with the father of Australian microsurgery. And Jenny Ann Jones meets a Perth doctor with great news for those forced to wear glasses.
David Woodworth is short-sighted. So short-sighted that without his specs, life looks a little like this.
I can't serve, I can't work, I can't do anything if I don't have my glasses on. I can't see coins unless I lift them up about yay far.
So what, you have to trust the customers to be honest with their change?
Oh yeah.
But David Woodworth's world is about to be brought sharply back into focus with what would best be described as living contact lenses. Are you excited? How do you feel about the prospects?
I couldn't sleep last night thinking that I'm going to have it done soon. I love to be able to see again.
Very simply, what I do is take a donor cornea. I then reshape that cornea according to the patient's individual visual deficit. I take the reshaped cornea and sew it on the patient's own cornea. It then heals and in effect becomes a living contact lens. In some cases, 20/20 vision has been restored.
Of course, it's not as easy as it sounds. If it were, Dr. Graham Barrett of Western Australia's Lions Eye Institute wouldn't be the only surgeon in Australia doing this type of surgery, and one of less than a dozen in the world.
Originally, the reshaping was done on the patient's own cornea. And if there were problems and the cornea was damaged, the results could be disastrous, and the patient may end up with far worse eyesight than he had beforehand. The operation I do, however, uses only donor corneas. And this is far safer because if there are any problems, especially post-operatively, then one can simply peel off the donor cornea and start again.
Incredible, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
A computer program, painstakingly devised by Dr. Barrett, means he can punch in his patient's vital visual statistics, and the computer will tell him exactly how the donor cornea is to be cut and shaped to correct, in this case, David Woodward's extreme short-sightedness. Using the computer specifications, the cornea is then punched out, just like a hole in a piece of paper, and then it's time to shape. Of course, even with exact computer specifications, it's no easy task. The punched cornea is no bigger than my little fingernail, and one slip, and that's it. No more cornea, and a major disappointment for David Woodward.
What we're looking at is the cornea slowly beginning to freeze. It has to be frozen in order to lathe it. This is a very delicate part of the procedure and as important as the actual surgery itself. The frozen donor cornea is 0.5 millimeters thick, and we're going to lathe it down to only 0.1 millimeters thick on the edge. In effect, it's like turning a piece of wood, but on a micro scale.
I dream about being able to put my arms around my wife and kiss her. I'd be able to see her eyes, I'd be able to see her face. I'd be able to see things that I couldn't see before.
The technical details of the procedure can be boiled down to 5 basic steps. The first thing I did was mark the visual axis. This is a fairly critical stage of the procedure. I then removed the epithelium, which are the surface cells on the cornea, and made a 0.1 to 0.2 millimeter groove in the patient's cornea. I then took the prepared donor cornea and tucked it into the groove, tucked the edge into the groove, and then sutured this donor cornea in place with 16 fine sutures. After the surface cells of the patient's cornea heal over the donor cornea, you basically have a living contact lens which will correct the patient's optical error. I'd like to emphasize that this is, although a relatively safe operation, technically very demanding and complex, and therefore, for the moment, it should be reserved for patients with very high refractive errors. In other words, it is not for every patient who has a small amount or moderate amount of short-sightedness or far-sightedness. Perhaps in the future, when we have alternative synthetic materials which we can use in place of donor corneas, then this operation can be more widespread.
Of course, David Woodward's vision won't be restored overnight. It could take anywhere between a week and 3 months before he can read the likes of this.
AOTXHU AOHGXHOTA. I thank God that, he's given me my eyesight back again. It's really wonderful to just, just to see things. I mean, I can play with my kids. I can kiss my wife and see her. Little things that people take for granted are magic to me these days.
Wheelchair love and medical science comes to the aid of the disabled. That's next on Only Human.
The Sunday Sun Plus.
Is the VFL scrambling for dollars instead of fighting for supporters? Scott Palmer thinks so. We talked to Alice Wills, who's fighting back.
Plus, the woman who helped fight Alan Bond's takeover plans demands fair play for small investors.
Plus, a star guide to your dad. Learn more about your father's star sign.
Plus, Share Height's blockbuster book, Good Guys, Bad Guys and Other Lovers.
The Sunday Sun.
It's everything you love about the Sun Plus.
You know that soap can dry out your skin. Now there's a new cleansing bar that will lay that problem to rest forever. Introducing New Dove. You see, New Dove contains 1/4 moisturizing cream, so it cleans like a soap, but won't dry your skin like soap can. New Dove with 1/4 moisturizing cream won't dry your skin like soap can.
Believe it or not, there are some people who haven't tried Kellogg's Complete Oven-Baked Muesli. Natural muesli lovers. That's why Kellogg made Complete Natural Muesli. Compared to other natural muesli, Complete has rolled oats, wheat and rye, sultanas, apple, pawpaw, almonds, and currants dipped in yogurt without the dust. So, which natural muesli would you rather be eating? New Kellogg's Complete Natural Muesli, the way muesli was meant to be.
For the last 50 years, more fathers like Jack have enjoyed the Filashave Edge than any other shaver. Now, for Father's Day, Filashave gives you even more to enjoy. Because when you buy a selected Filashave bestseller, we'll give you 2 more bestsellers free.
Going up?
The Filashave Father's Day. Take a closer look.
She, am he, am they?
Amcal.
She am, you am, we am. Amcal. That's me all over.
Now buy any Revlon or Max Factor product and you could win a VIP trip for 2 to the Melbourne Cup with 2 luxurious nights at the Park Royal Hotel. Entry forms at Amcal.
Amcal, I am.
I must say you're looking particularly handsome today. I was just telling Bert, this is Bert, that he's one of my favourite kinds of flora. This is another flora I'm particularly fond of.
Flora margarine, like Bert, contains no artificial colours, flavours, additives.
Such a lovely, deliciously light taste that... But I mustn't talk too loud. Bert gets very jealous, you know.
Flora, with no artificial colours, flavours, additives. It's one of the best things in the country.
Coming up, musical melodies of the painful kind. The typist's disease becomes fiddler's elbow. But first, the miracle that proved doctors wrong.
Rob and Carol de Groot are a happy but unusual couple. Rob's a former SAS soldier who became a paraplegic when he fell from a truck 19 years ago. Carol was a nurse in the hospital ward where Rob recovered. They fell in love. Rob and Carol were told not to get married because they'd have problems. They wouldn't have a normal sex life. The chances of conceiving were 1,000,000 to 1. And they were told that Rob could not be a proper parent.
Oh, yeah, all righty. And he says, anyway, the baby wouldn't be breastfed, so it'd be bottle fed. You wouldn't be able to get up in the middle of the night and give it a bottle or something like this. I says, well, how many husbands do you know to get up in the middle